Your Facebook Live report starts now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into a PTN Facebook Live, and we have big news. You can see it on the bottom of your screen. Moses Moody has just announced that he is declaring for the 2021 NBA Draft. He appeared on ESPN's The Jump just moments ago to say that he will be moving on to the pros. And for this and our reaction, we're bringing in our senior analyst, Mike Irwin. Mike, what is your first reaction to Moses's announcement today?
It's like a no-brainer. We all knew he was going to do it. It's not a surprise. I knew it was going to happen. The interesting thing to me is that he makes this announcement on the same day that Coach Musselman announces the signing of Stanley Umude from South Dakota. So you're losing a freshman who averaged just under 17 points a game, and among others, you're gaining a same type player, a 6'6" kind of guard / forward, who averaged 21 points per game for South Dakota and scored in the 20s against some Division I big name schools. So, and he's not the only one they've added. I mean, I've added it up in between a DC Tony and Chris Like and Stanley Umude, and then Kamani Johnson, who sat out last year, the transfer from Little Rock, who will play next year. They've added 59 points per game based on their scoring last year or the last time they played. So 59 points per game has been added. Doesn't mean they'll all score that, but that's way more than they've lost. So this team looks like on paper already, and I don't know that Musselman is done bringing people in, but it looks like a team that's already stronger on paper than it was last year.
And we got Jerry, Gail, Steven, Jack saying all good luck and congratulations to Moody. They'll be rooting for him as he makes his next step. You mentioned all these guys they're bringing in. You're still losing such a big piece and a talented piece in Moses. But the historical aspect, I think, is the thing to focus on here is the first one and done in Arkansas history. What does that mean for Arkansas moving forward that they can produce players like this?
Well, I think it means that this coaching staff and this head coach has upped the recruiting game, because he not only recruits and lands the first one and done for the school, which that is historic. Now, I don't think he'll be doing a lot of that, because right now his focus is on grad transfers, and those are one and done, but not sometimes, but not traditional one and dones. So it's good. It's a good thing, that you can tell other players. He can now tell high school guys that are possible one and dones, hey, you come here and we'll get you to the NBA. You don't have to go to Kentucky or some other school. We can do it. But he can also tell grad transfers. We took two guys in Justin Smith and Jalen Tate, and we took them. One of them, Tate, had been to one NCAA tournament, one and done. Smith had never been to the NCAA. We took them, and we took them 4 games into the NCAA tournament. We made them better players, and they had a bigger impact on a really good team than they were having where they left. So when you can call up a grad transfer and say, we did this with this guy, we did that with this guy, and then you can tell a freshman, a high school recruit, hey, look what we did with Moses Moody. We can do that with you. It helps recruiting.
You can see just a lot of people on Facebook saying their congratulations. What did he mean to this fan base more so than just the recruiting, to have an Arkansas guy like Moses perform the way he did and now is going to potentially represent in the professional league?
Well, it's good, because you get a guy that's in the NBA. The more guys you have in the NBA, the better. One of them that went to the NBA is not there currently, but the more you do, the more you land these guys in the NBA, the better you're recruiting, and I think Razorback fans are proud of that. I'm not a fan of one and done. I wish the NBA would change the rule. I wish they would go and do the baseball model and say, we'll either take you right out of high school and develop you ourselves, or we will let the college guys have you for 3 years and then we'll take you. But they're not going to do that. It's not going to change. I think there's some pretty good evidence that one and dones as a group, I'm not referring to any specific player, but as a group, one and dones don't tend to do well in the NCAA tournament. I think that's why Kentucky is, with all of these players, loaded with these players, has not I think they produced one national championship in all the years John Calipari has been doing this. Mostly they flamed out, and they really flamed out this year. And to me, the theory is when you get toward the end of your senior year, you invariably, when you're thinking about all that money, I mean, Moses Moody is projected to make anywhere from $11 million with his first contract to $17 million. Who would turn that down? Now, you're going to tell me that as you got closer to achieving that, if somebody told me, hey, Mike, in a few weeks, you're going to get a check in the mail for $15 million, you think I wouldn't be going, oh, geez, what am I going to do? It would affect my work for sure.
Yeah. Let me scroll through and see what the fans are saying. Should I cash this check in or not? Let's just pull up some stats for you guys about Moses Moody, averaging 16.8 points per game this season. He was the SEC Freshman of the Year, first one and done now in Razorback history. He's projected as a high first-round pick. I've been looking this morning at where people are ranking him. NBC and NBADraft.net have him as the 7th overall pick to the Toronto Raptors. But again, there's a lot that can happen between now and July 29th and even the NBA lottery that happens in June that could impact where that draft order kind of sits. Mike, what do you see from Moses's game, though, that really can transition well into the next level?
You know, I think the NBA is more of a one-on-one league, and he can do things to create his own shot. He does that automatically with his height and his shooting ability. But I think one of the things they're going to look at is we've all seen what he's like off the court. He hasn't been any kind of a distraction, hasn't caused any problems. We didn't wake up one day and find out Moses was in trouble. He just did his job, was very quiet, but quietly went about his business, and he's very polite, very well spoken, and he's not the kind of guy that's going to embarrass an NBA team, and they don't want that. They want a guy with ability, but they want a guy with ability that's not going to cause them problems, or they're not going to wake up one day and find out the guy's suspended. And so they know they're getting a guy with character, a kid with character. And I think that's important to them.
We have a lot of people in the comments, and I think the characters jumping off the screen here. You know, Elaine saying, congratulations, we'll miss your basketball talent. Dale saying, I'm sad, but best of luck to Moses. It was fun watching you. I'll be following you in the NBA. A lot of people, hey, if Moses is in the comments section, I'm sure he'd be really happy to see what a lot of these people are saying. Now, you kind of brought up of what this kind of vacates a lot of scoring for Arkansas, but you don't seem concerned with the fact that they will be bringing in some really talented grad transfers.
Well, they've gone out and brought in two guys that are almost identical, except one scored more points per game than the other last year. Adise Toney, 6'6" guard / forward, can play, 2 or 3. And then Stanley Amude, 6'6", same thing. And one of them averaged 21 points a game, the other averaged 14. So, they've got a replacement for Moses Moody. And these guys, Amude in particular, is a fifth-year guy, not a fourth-year guy. So you're gaining an experienced player that can do this, and you're trading it a sophomore and what he would do and what these guys will do as seniors.
We will get to Amude here in just a little bit. I know the news, if you're just joining us, Moses Moody has just announced that he is declaring for the 2021 NBA draft. Going to be the first one and done in Arkansas Razorbacks history. He was just on ESPN's The Jump to announce the news. We have an article up right now that you can read about Moses, his statement. And a lot of people are wishing him congratulations in the comments. And Mike, this was something, and I think a lot of the fans, and I want to ask and get your opinion on, is, after the tournament, it was a lot of people on social media. Should he stay? Should he go? He needs another year after, having a little bit of a shaky tournament. Oh, and then a lot of people are saying, well, it's hard, like you said, to turn down a $15 million check. How hard is it, do you think, in an athlete's mind to go back and forth with that? It's a big decision, a life-changing decision, life-changing money. Is it easy to just say, hey, I need to go to the pros, or is there a battle there between staying in college and going pro?
It depends on who you are and your situation. In his case, I don't think it was a hard decision at all because of the feedback he got. I mean, you look at all these various publications and how they rank him, and there's just nothing in there that would suggest he's going to get a nasty surprise. In fact, everything you look at indicates that he's probably in the middle range of that 11 million to 17 million. So maybe 15. And, you know, again, as I said before, who's going to turn that down? It's not a hard decision. I think the reaction by a lot of the fans at the end was, well, whoa, wait a minute. I don't think they were aware of all of the players that Musselman was going to quickly bring in very quickly and sign out of the portal. Experienced players that can do the things that they did last year. I mean, this point guard they're bringing in, I don't know how many people have seen video of this kid, but he's like Devo Davis on steroids. He's shorter than Devo, but he's fast. He can go into the teeth of a collapsing defense, disappear, and somehow appear on the back end of that thing and go up with a layup that he, you know, you got a center that's trying to swat his shot and his arm comes out and he lays this thing off the glass behind that arm and just does acrobatics. And he's going to become quickly a favorite with the fan base because he is a magician with the basketball.
Let's quickly go to the other transfer today, Mike. This is Stanley Amude transferring from South Dakota to Arkansas. As we're going to wrap this up quick and just talk about this move. I know you mentioned it a lot earlier. Replacing Moses here, getting a same 6'6" body frame. I mean, this guy averaged 21.6 points per game this season, a 3-time All-Summit League selection, 9th in the NCAA in scoring. This was a big get for them today.
Yeah, and there are people saying, well, come on, he did that 21 points a game against mid-major teams. He didn't really do it. I think he played in 5 games against, you know, name schools and averaged about the same, around 20 points per game. That didn't slow him down any. He just looked, I mean, all of these guys, Adisi Tony, Chris Light, Stanley Amude, Kamani Johnson. Kamani Johnson is a guy that's been on campus since December, and they haven't talked much about him, but the other day Eric Musselman said he was so physical in practice around the rim that I had to tell him to back off. I was afraid he was going to hurt some of our players, and then we'd, you know, go into an NCAA game minus a player. He's that physical. So you know, you got a Justin Smith replacement. You got a Jalen Tate replacement. You got a Moses Moody, 2 Moses Moody replacements. I mean, Eric Musselman is the king of the portal. He just dominates the portal. It's like he has a PhD in portality or whatever you would call that. He knows how to go into the portal and grab guys.
I think you're exactly right. And that's what happens when you go to the Elite Eight and you have a lot of success as people, just like Justin Smith said, just like Chris Like said. We have an interview with Chris up on our website. They said, I want to go to a program that I know can win. And there's a proven track record now behind Eric Musselman that this team can win. If you go to Arkansas, you can go all the really deep into March Madness, and you also have a chance of getting to the NBA. Mike, as we wrap up, let's just get your final thought on Moses Moody heading into the NBA draft.
Yeah, and wish him good luck. Hope he does well, because if he does well in the NBA, that helps. But I would just close this out by saying that Eric Musselman has created his own version of one and done, and it's much better than the freshman version, because he's bringing in guys that are one and done and have experience, and they perform better in the tournament than freshman one and dones. So when you're looking toward next year, nobody can predict for sure what will happen, but I feel much better about this basketball team because he's added 3 veteran players to a group of young players that are 1 year further down the road. This is not going to be the young team it was a year ago. You're going to have some sophomores on there, and at least one junior in Note, or I guess he'll be a senior next year. And then you're going to have all these 5th-year players, and wow, I mean, that's a lineup.
Yeah, to echo what you say, you know, congratulations to Moses. This is a big step in his life and also in the history of Arkansas basketball, being the first one and done, as Moses Moody has officially declared today for the 2021 NBA draft. That begins in late July. That's going to wrap it up for us. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and putting the comments in. It's clear to see how much Moses has meant to you all as well, and we wish him the best of luck coming into the draft draft night. And also you can catch much more of the story hearing from Moses when we go on our Pig Trail Nation reports tonight on our television stations on your local shows. So thank you everyone so much for joining us in this edition of PTN Live. We will see you soon.